welcome back to another edition of TNS Thursdays, and welcome to this review. So, I'm your host, the OT Astartes, and we're in the run-up to regionals, folks. And already the team are not functioning properly. Here is this week's thumbnail. My face was blocking the Space Marine last time, so I've made a few adjustments. So, hold on. Yeah. Regionals is right around the corner, and yet the team is still dysfunctional. Well, I think it's time for some Space Marine motivation. There is no death. No, there is no death when you serve the Emperor. You will fight for him, and no matter what happens, your battle brothers are all you have when fighting Xeno scum. By the way, I watched the Summer Games Fest stream last night. Two things. Number one, Space Marine 2 looks beautiful. Number two, the host screwed us over at the end. Right, so here I was on the stream, like, when he says RPG, like, we're all expecting Mass Effect to come up. Like, we're getting really excited when he said an RPG that has got legions of fans, and I was getting excited. I was like this, and then he said an RPG that revolutionized the genre. And then I was really excited, and then I was like, "Oh my god, is it Mass Effect?" And then it was Final Fantasy. So I put in the chat, I declare exterminatus upon Summer Games Fest. You really know how to troll us. So now we are on episode 21. So Kingston has improved. So in the previous episode, Kingston was struggling within his schoolwork, and with the help of the Next Step dancers, he has improved vastly. But there is yet still some division within the team. So episode 21. So Kenzie, Finn, and Summer get a text from Lily to meet in Shakes and Ladders. Lily then comes in, and she offers them a spot at Encore. However, Summer and Finn decide to reject it, but Kenzie has a little think about it, because she wants to win at regionals, and she wants to get to, win a competition. However, Davis is conveniently there, and she volunteers to audition. Hello, Jackie, was told about Dave's betrayal, and then Jackie and Davis meet, and they have a massive argument again. Sisters, eh? That should be... I tell you what, over this series we've had many iconic quotes, or like Starscream, Lily and Angela Zacharias. Hello, Jackie. And sisters, eh? And Space Marine motivation. So things got out of hand with Jackie and Davis. Michelle briefs Noah on the new and updated choreography because he's been away and he missed rehearsals, and due to Summer and Amy being in the same room together, they had to change the choreography a bit. So Noah also puts in a few ideas as well. And then afterwards, hello, Jackie talks to Emily about Davis. And then Emily says that Davis is new and therefore she has less experience. Then we have Noah rehearsing again, but he gets a call from, hello, Jackie, but he declines the call. And also, could I also point out that in the previous scene, Noah had a few good ideas as well. So then, yeah, he declines the call from Jackie. Then we go to B Troop. Ozzy and Rochelle are helping to choreograph a routine for their showcase night. And then we go into a bit of descriptions of Legions of Lasers. So it sounds, to me, it sounds like The Last of Us. Not that I've ever played or watched The Last of Us TV show, but it's kind of nice because Lamar Johnson was in The Last of Us with the Mandalorian, and that bloody girl that I don't. Oh, she was annoying. She annoyed me in Game of Thrones. She was. I'm not a big fan of hers. So then, and also is in it with Ron Swanson from Parks and Recreation. And then Lamar Johnson's character also asked the question, what's the next step? And of course, every Next Step fan and his dog have been memeing it. So yeah. They also talk about one of the characters being a commander, Commander Shepard. Can I just sing a song a minute? From Omega to Mars, from the council to the city's bars, from the reaches of space, with the pillars of Asari grace. Their battle-worn Batarians lacking in humility, Turians are brag about their reach and instability. The clutter of the city spreads to the loneliest stars. But no matter what scars you bear, whatever uniform you wear, you can fight like a Krogan, run like a leopard, but you'll never be better than Commander Shepard. I'm Commander Shepard, and this is my favorite dance show in the Citadel. I should go. She also talks about how Legions of Lasers is the best game in existence, and she stands the hell for it. So I'm going to educate you a bit. This is the best game in existence. This classic here. Better than any of the shite that we've had from other Transformers media. Like this out of all the Transformers games, this has got to be my favorite. Because it had no humans, just Transformers. And of course, the best RPG, Mass Effect. Yeah, I've just done, well, I'm nearing the end of my current playthrough. I am definitely getting the synthesis ending because I made peace between the Geth and Quarians. I have cured the Genophage. I've done the Citadel DLC party. But anywho, where were we? Oh, I remember in one of my Next Step meme videos when I made a meme that's saying what Legions of Lasers is like, and it had a picture of an angry guy yelling and one of those Halo or Call of Duty lobbies from the Xbox 360 days. The arguments back then. Tell you what, today's society would hate it. They'd have to rush to their safe spaces. Especially the Riot Shield. I've only seen the clip of it. I've never played Call of Duty in my life. Jackie has a conversation with Davis, and she lets Davis join Encore. And now, surprisingly, they're getting along, as Davis points out. Out of all the times we get along, just I'm about to leave the Next Step. Then Noah talks to Michelle about leaving the Next Step, but Elliot's also there, and he gets the part as the Sheriff of Nottingham, not Nottingham. Kenzie then confronts Jackie, and in the middle of their arguments, Davis comes in and runs out. B Troop also showcased their little Legions of Lasers thing, and then Rochelle isn't too happy with Legions of Lasers. She's on about nerds, and She hates video games, but Winnie stands up to Rochelle. And in the end, Winnie asks Ozzy to play some Legions of Lasers with her. So Winnie asks Ozzy to play some Legions of Lasers with her. And then at the end of the episode, Jackie talks to Davis, but Davis cries and then she leaves because she talks about feeling underappreciated. And then we have our dance from Noah, where they bring flashbacks from some of his previous seasons. Now, obviously, they left out Abby for real life circumstances. Not too sure what happened there. But then again, can understand why, because WWE did it with Chris Benoit because of what he did. There's an entire 2-part Dark Side of the Ring about it. I definitely recommend you watch it if you're not squeamish. In fact, I don't think it's on Channel 4 Player anymore. We're moving to episode 22 now. So Davis's absence is announced and there will be no alternate, which is nonsensical because you need an alternate. But now they're all in desperate measures, so they are going to have to stand by their battle brothers and comfort them and fight on in this endless, bitter war. This dial thing on this microphone is brilliant. I'm glad I brought this. So then, dancers are briefed on the new choreography, and this is also happens because Davis is obviously with another studio, and she could sneak behind their backs and say this is their choreography. Oh, you can steal it if you like. And she can tell them that the next steps, plans, and etc. So they're briefed on the new choreography. Rochelle is the happiest one there. She says, everything's perfect. However, how delusional she is. So Jackie and Kenzie are arguing because of Davis. Henry and Summer are meant to be going on a date this evening, but obviously rehearsals come first. And then Finn is making a weird noise with his mouth. So everything is not perfect, Rochelle. Finn gives the studio head. So a delivery comes and Finn accepts it and he gives the studio heads a prop. So the props are ropes and like they're Tarzan or something, or Indiana Jones. Oh God, not the Dial of Destiny. Screw Disney. Rest in peace, Disney. So the ropes are shorter than expected, and Emily and Michelle both freak out about it. Meanwhile, Kenzie dances and she's frustrated. However, then hello, Jackie walks in, but Kenzie is not in the mood, so she immediately walks out and does not want to talk. Meanwhile, Ozzy and Kingston tell Finn about his mouth noises, but Finn rejects such claims. Rochelle then meets up with Elliot, and Elliot's asked to help with rehearsals for the musical. But there is a downside to this, and there's a reason why Michelle's celebration earlier, it was very short-lived, because Elliot is having to go to California for this. I don't know why. Apparently it's a right shithole. But yeah, there's huge distance between them, and he has to break up with Rochelle. So everything is not perfect now. Definitely not perfect. Back to rehearsal. So dancers then work on the routine. Henry and Summer go to Studio One. They lie because they say that we want to rehearse separately, but really, they sneak off to have their own little dance. Ozzy and Kingston are filming Finn dancing for evidence of his mouth noises, like they're filming the InfoWars documentary. Piper and Rochelle practice, but Rochelle is not doing well after her breakup, as anyone would. And she immediately walks out and screams. And later, Ozzy and Kingston show Finn the evidence of his mouth noises, and he will work on that. Emily then makes a call to the rope makers. Noah walks in and tells them that the team is dysfunctional, and he's a bit stressed. Jackie sees him and talks to him, but he's completely overwhelmed with all the work. You would not be overwhelmed on the battlefield, though. Especially if you're a world eater, because then you'd go berserk. So then rehearsals go into the night, and the dancers practice without the ropes, and the ropes will arrive the next morning, but the team is still dysfunctional. The dance is looking a lot better. And then, of course, I also forgot to mention that Henry and Summer have a little dance for fun in Studio One. However, Noah comes in and he's all drill sergeant with them, and he tells them to come back and rehearse and concentrate. But that is later fixed at the end when Henry sets up a date for Summer where they watch some horror movie. The Nightmare, apparently. What a creative name for a film. The Nightmare. There was a Doctor Who villain called the Nightmare Man. Well, it appeared in Sarah Jane Adventures. God, I miss Sarah Jane. I think I actually met the actress who plays Rani Chandra on a train once. We're on our way to Didcot for a birthday celebration because we went to the Didcot train thing. I only went because of Michael Portillo, and I think I saw her on the train, but I was like, I shouldn't say anything. This was when I was younger, by the way. So this would have been at about 2011 or 12 or whenever. So I immediately went out, went to another carriage. So then as the team are dysfunctioning, that's a nice thing. I'll tell you what else I'm excited for from Summer Games Fest, the new Star Trek game that they talked about, because it had next generation thing. It had next generation era ships, the Borg Collective, and a map of the galaxy. So I'm looking forward to that, because there was a similar game called Star Trek Legacy back in the day, which sadly I can't play on the 360. But I think that was my favorite Star Trek game. Like, it's tons better than online, because you can set up your own battlefield or your own scenario, whatever planet, and it will be good for filmmaking as well. It also had a story that was much better than Picard, and also the Star Trek Comic Hive, because it had all 4 captains throughout all the eras, and it focused on one villain. So we had Archer, Kirk, Janeway, Picard, Cisco. Yeah, before the dark days of Star Trek, before it turned to shit with A. Judas Abrams and B. Discovery. So then, episode 23. So Summer's dancing on her own because she's a bit, I don't know, frustrated, I think. Right, so there was a major technical issue with that. So I recorded the rest of the video. However, it was all muted. So that really pissed me off. So I'm having to record the synopsis for episode 23 all over again. So from the top, Summer is dancing on her own because she's very frustrated, with the dancers being dysfunctional. Meanwhile, Emily and Michelle call a meeting in Shakes and Ladders. However, it's not a meeting. It turns out to be an escape room. So a troop are locked in Shakes and Ladders, and they've got to try and find a way out. You get the gist. Then Kenzie and Jackie, of course, argue because they're still not on good terms because of what happened with Davis. But someone finds a briefcase that requires a code to open it. Meanwhile, in the office, Emily and Michelle almost lock themselves in because the door is nearly jammed. And I think the poor caretaker must have so much to deal with, from food fights to this. I wonder what it would have been like with when the chandelier bust. So Miss Kate shows a man around, and nearly Emily and Michelle think that she's getting married. However, she's selling the next step, much to their dismay. I made a stop motion a few years ago where Miss Kate sells the next step, and we get a new owner. Well, my guess is for a new owner. So among those people among those candidates were Herbert from Quagmire from Family Guy. Herbert did make a cameo, as did the other Family Guy characters. Like, we had Chris Griffin making a little appearance or cameo. Same with Peter. And of course, the infamous "Shut up, Mig." Then we had the Reverse Flash, Eobard Thawne. And we had Megatron from Transformers Beast Wars. We had Phil Swift from the Flex Tape adverts. Sovereign from Mass Effect. And trying to remember who else. Darkmaker from Lego Hero Factory, or from a cameo in he had a cameo in Brain Attack in the first scene. You haven't seen it or heard from him since, because we got Shitty Invasion from Below instead. But we then have a phone call in the stop motion from Vince Russo, the ex-WWF and WCW and TNA writer. Then Jim Cornette rings, warning them against hiring Shitstain Incarnate. Tony Khan from AEW, Vince McMahon, and myself playing me, suggesting all these weird ideas. So Miss Kate's selling the next step, much to Emily and Michelle's dismay. Meanwhile, back to A Troop, everyone is wearing everybody is wearing a lanyard where it has a number on it, and the dancers are that number, and on the sheet of paper, on the clue sheet, it says it points out a little known fact about each dancer. So like Kenzie went to space camp, and Ozzy being a nerd, and Henry dating Jackie and Amy. And of course, Rochelle being a bit jealous of Summer. But in this, they get to know each other, and Finn's Fruity Moons thing, which he is not too happy about either. So there is still a bit of tension, and while they're arguing, Noah manages to open it. He says, "Let's all go home!" Just in time as well. But it turns out that there are 6 pieces of choreography that the dancers need to decipher. So everyone is paired with the person that they like the least at that moment. I'm only saying at that moment because Piper and Finn are there, and yeah. Miss Kate Miss Kate talks to Emily and Michelle about the next step and about the future. Back to Shakes and Ladders. Rochelle, while everybody argues, is on her phone, probably looking at Summer. Whatever she's looking at, I don't know. Like Instagram or Summer. Everybody sorts things out with each other. And then, apart from Kenzie and Jackie. Clues are located all over Shakes and Ladders and by various dancers. Meanwhile, Summer and Henry sort things out. Everybody forgets that Henry dated Jackie because it was an off-screen romance, wasn't it? Then we get to back to Emily and Michelle, and Emily plans to buy the next step for her and Michelle because she says that she's always dreamed of owning a dance studio. But Michelle is obviously doubtful of that. But Emily convinces Michelle that they have to buy it. Meanwhile, Jackie and Kenzie are still arguing. Kenzie has to work with Jackie, and she does work with Jackie to get that piece of choreography right, and they eventually forgive each other. And then at the end of the episode, before they go out, because there's a nice little cutout of Emily and Michelle blocking the way, they have to imitate each other's dance styles, and they do so. At the end of the episode, everyone just has a freestyle dance. Everyone's all excited. Yay, 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 until they find out what happens when the next step is now up for sale. And so with regionals right around the corner, the Game of Thrones is about to begin. So yeah, these are the episodes that really turn people a bit against Davis, because Jackie wasn't as accepting of Davis until the very end, and it turned into more of a competition other than a sisterhood. And the escape room was a good way for us to know some unknown facts about the dancers or the characters. And it was a good teamwork exercise as well. And it gets them ready for regionals. So I'd like to thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next episode. So goodbye and good night. And also, before I go, we are nearly at 200 subscribers as of recording this. Now, usually I don't ask people to subscribe because you have the choice of subscribing or not. You know, I don't want to tell you what to do in life. You know, it's your choice whether you sub to me or not, whether you like the video. So we're nearly at 200. If we could get to 200, that would be good. That would be nice. So I must end it there. I'll see you all in the next video. So goodbye and good night.